Hello everyone, and welcome to another game of World of Warships. Today it's one of my replays and I'm in the Kurfürst, a tier 10 German battleship. I'm on map Islands of Ice. It's a 3-point domination game. It's actually a mild tier 10 game, right? There are quite a few tier 8s around. One of them, unfortunately, is a carrier. And look at that, we found a Venezia. Venezia goes broadside, pops a smoke, shells are in the air. Now, of course, I'm a Kurfürst, so it's what, probably one overpan, or maybe it's two citadels. You know, sometimes Kurfürst guns hit, and this was a very nice hit, so I'm liking it. Meanwhile, of course, my Des Moines also got slightly smacked, because it's a Des Moines. Now, it doesn't look like I'm gonna get any shots at this Yugumo, which is a shame. Now, the Yugumo could have topped before it went behind this island, so something to keep in mind. There is an Atago also showing broadside. Now we've had a very good first salvo. Can we get another one? And yeah, I'm popping the Hydro now, and there we see the torps just as expected. And oh, that actually was a citadel.
Torpedoes auf Steuerbord!
Oh, very nice. Also, I'd like to point out that I'm actually shooting ammo piercing. Now, you might be wondering, this game shows I'm loading high explosive. How am I citadeling everything? Well, I'm actually shooting ammo piercing. The replay is just buggy, right? The replay shows the wrong ammunition type. There is no magic going on here. It's just wargaming's usual, yeah. Meanwhile, I'm way too broadside to those ships. I should have probably made the turn way earlier, and I'm getting smacked myself because I'm showing broadside to enemy battleships, and I probably deserved that. Now, since the enemy is pushing pretty heavily and have quite a few ships, turning away here is definitely the right move, but I could have done it a little bit more in cover behind the island and not really so in front of them. With Viper smokescreen here, I could even waited, go in concealment in the smokescreen, and then turned like the same person. But, you know. Speaking of broadsides, the enemy Schlieffen is doing the same thing I did, going broadside in front of the enemy. Let's see if he's getting punished for it. The answer is yes. See how much fun you can have if Kurfürst guns actually work. So, anyway. Meanwhile, the carrier is here to also attack. Fortunately for me, it's not a very good carrier. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna be a very persistent one. So, there is that. Now, my retreat is mostly going okay-ish. Yeah, you see, he's like... He isn't doing his jobs very well, let's put it like this. I'm still gonna take a torpedo, and I get a flooding, but I got a damage con ready. Now I am running somewhat low on hit points, but I'm in a distance where it shouldn't be that big of a deal. The enemy team doesn't have anything truly that scary at long range. I mean, that's a Schlieffen. Montana. There isn't like a Thunder or a Concord that will just keep setting on fire. Not to mention that I should even be able to go into concealment here if I stop firing. I got another heal going, so this is nice. Those torps are going to run out, I believe. I mean, I would be able to dodge them anyway, but I kind of want to make this turn, so it would be nice if they ran out and allow me to go where I want to go. There we go. Perfect. So now is the Atago gonna come around here and let me shoot it? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe the Atago doesn't want to get shot again, which is a shame. Meanwhile, of course, there are the planes. There are always planes, although they are going for my Des Moines, so, you know. Des Moines anti-air working as intended, because as we all know, anti-air stands, AA stands for attract aircraft. So, yeah. Be that as it may, we should probably speed this up slightly while I get back into the battle. My retreat was successful, I healed up quite a bit, and now I need to get back into range and possibly do something about A. Now we have an Ohio here that's also in retreat. The Goliath is still somewhere in the fight, as is obviously my Des Moines and my Sommers. Now I almost saw a little bit of Atago peek out, but not quite enough to shoot, but we're getting closer, and once again there are the planes. There are always the planes, aren't there? Now finally, something to potentially shoot at again. Although for some reason I decided to hold my fire there. Now here are the cargo planes, anti-air is reinforced on that side, and now this time gonna take the shot. The Schlieffen is on very low health, which is good. The Venezia isn't too healthy. The enemy still has quite a bit of a force here, right? Also, the Yugumo and the Halland are in B, and they could very well torp into A if I'm not careful. So I could get torped into my side. We'll see if that Schlieffen comes around here. So now I'm gonna turn left here. That brings me further away from these destroyers in the center. And maybe if the Schlieffen comes a little bit further forward, I can actually shoot it. Right now I'm slowing down because I wanna get some shots into this Schlieffen. If we could finish it off here, that would be very nice and would make my push a lot more easy. So Schlieffen does exactly what I was hoping it would do. My rear guns can still pass by that mountain, and hopefully that takes care of that. Well, somebody else got it, but the most important part, it has been sunk. Now I can focus my attention to Vladivostok. There is still the Atago. Now the Atago could come around here and try to torpedo. As usual, there is the carrier. And of course there is the Montana. Now my Hydro is running, so I can see the torps and I should be able to go through them. The problem, of course, is keeping an angle against all of those ships. Now the Atago, well, we get 3 overpens. I could have aimed a little bit lower, but in my experience, if you aim too much towards the waterline these days, shells usually don't hit the target, they just all fall short. So these days I tend to aim a little bit higher than I used to some years ago. Anyway, let's see if we can get a hit into the Atago this time. Well, 2 pens, that's decent. I'm trying to stay somewhat angled against the Vladivostok, get some cover behind this island and also dodge some torps. Meanwhile, of course, as usual, the carrier is here. Gotta be wary of the Montana as well. The Seton and the Alabama are thankfully far enough away. So I'm hoping to finish off the Atago here. The Montana is a problem that I don't really have an answer for other than go behind this island, which is gonna happen soon. But thankfully the Montana isn't looking. Meanwhile, of course, the carrier keeps harassing me. Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately, and I'm gonna eat some fish. Well, the Vladivostok was taken care of. Now I have an island protecting me from the Montana, and we can engage that Venezia. Well, or we could if it wasn't in concealment inside the smokescreen. Now, unfortunately, the carrier is back, so Venezia can still see me while I can't see it. Overall, the game is not going too badly. It's still relatively even, but we have 2 cap zones, which is good. I'm although getting very low on health, which is not very good. Now, I'm not sure why the Venezia isn't shooting me, mind you. It's possible that the Venezia is too close for its smokefire penalty, and maybe it now just reached the range where it's safe to shoot. It's actually rather likely, I guess. Unfortunately, it means I can't do anything to shoot back. So where do I go from here? Oh, the Venezia is finally spotted again. Has its smoke disappeared? I think its smoke is no longer running and it sailed out of it. Of course, more planes are coming, as usual. Unfortunately, the Venezia is just now leaving my secondary range. So it's up to my main guns, and we all know how that's gonna go. Also, there is only 1 more heal remaining. I'm getting very low on hit points. And there is gonna be another carrier drop. Well, At least the hit against the Venezia was okay-ish. And the Venezia missed in return. Now, if I could finish off this Venezia, that would be glorious. He's turning a bit broadside, although I'm afraid he will turn back before those shells arrive. We'll see. Oh, now I'm getting shot by that Montana, I think, too. Yeah, this is gonna be dicey. Heal is almost ready, and the Venezia still lives. Then again, so do I. Okay then, so the Venezia is now outside of my gun range. I can't do anything about it. The carrier is still coming for me. This Montana, I think it's turning behind an island, so there is that. But the main idea is now angle against that Montana. So I got an A defensive expert, which is a bit... That medal is kind of mocking you, isn't it? Because I never managed to defend against a single airstrike in this entire game. I'm getting plane kills, sure, but I'm not defending myself against airstrikes, and the carrier is also not running out of planes, so it's kind of a participation medal. It's like, thanks for being a punching bag. Meanwhile, Viper is taking care of that Montana, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. That leaves us in a 6 versus 5 though, so it's still not that decisive, and as we have established, certain ships like myself are on very low hit points. And the carrier will just keep coming. Now the planes kinda coming from the one line there, so I wonder if the carrier is like hugging its Venezia back there. Speaking of said Venezia, I have no gun range to actually shoot it, but it's getting low, of course. I can't let a flooding go here, I'm so low on health. Without any heals, carrier is gonna drop again. And see, that's thankfully it's not a very good carrier, because it does drops like that from a bad angle with not fully aimed planes for no reason. So at least there is that. And finally, I might even be able to shoot the carrier. Carrier that still basically has full plane squadrons, because obviously shooting down planes isn't supposed to do anything. Now somebody smacked that carrier pretty hard, and can I smack it too? Come on. Oh, it's getting very low. Yes, I can. That was satisfying. Now wait for the carrier to come back and finish me off, because, you know, it will still have planes. It's just how carriers work. Meanwhile, yeah, I'm getting pretty confident about the victory here. The enemy ships seem to be fairly low. The Seaton is down. The Alabama is not. Well, the Holland is healthy. I highly doubt that Holland is gonna sink us all. Hey, there are the planes! It's Oh look, there are barely any planes in this squadron. Now that's shocking. At least he didn't get a flooding, although my damage con would have been ready anyway. So, Alabama? Yeah, it's probably gonna sink before my shares arrive. Or will it? Yes, it will. Anyway, that just leaves a single Holland. Now the Alabama took the Goliath with it, but you know, it's 5 against 1. They don't have any points. There is no way for this Holland to win, but I mean, it could certainly still torpedo me. I'm detected, which is unsurprising. I'm gonna pop my last Hydro here, which means I've run out of all of my consumables now. But we can see some torps over there, so the Holland is probably not going for me. Considering that we have quite a few ships, there are probably more interesting targets to torpedo, like the radar. I'm not sure if Valkyrie still has radar charges, but the Holland might just be concerned. Now the Holland is poking here, and well, that actually looks like it's trying to torp me. But those torps are probably hydroed by Valkyrie, because they are still too far away from mine. which gives me more than enough time to actually just easily dodge this. The Holland is now behind an island, but we know where it is. It's probably gonna be permanently hydroed behind there. Unless, of course, hydro is running out. Yeah, this Holland is pretty much gonna get Valkyried. So, this was a very profitable game, and while shooting down planecraft doesn't actually defend you, it still gives you a bit of experience, so at least there is that, I guess. Anyway, this was quite a successful Kurfürst game. I'm not sure how I survived, but somehow I did. And yeah, I thought this was an interesting game. I got pummeled a bit hard early on, managed to successfully disengage, go back in, and came out alive. I hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and I'll see you next time.